corporation last year saved $200 million based solely on their environmental initiatives. Now, the funny thing about that question is if you would have asked me a question like that 10 years ago, I would have asked you what sustainability is, because I really had no clue. I knew as much about sustainability as this guy. So a lot's changed since then, and we'll get back to the question in a second. So what I'm going to talk about today is leadership in environmental sustainability. And I'm going to talk about this as a business leader, not as an environmental leader. And I want to talk about how you as future business leaders can take advantage of this opportunity in front of you. And there's three things I'm going to talk about. One is embracing sustainability. Two is properly positioning sustainability in your company, because consumers demand this. But here's the thing, is they don't want to pay you for it. Right? Given the choice of a green product or a non-green product, all other things being equal, they're going to choose the green product. And then the third piece is lead. So you have to lead. And this whole thing's about leadership. But the third area I named lead because it's really about making difficult decisions. And that's what leadership's all about. It's about making those tough decisions. So, jumping right in. Embrace sustainability. So there's a lot of forces making sustainability more important in the future than it is today, and it's already pretty important. The first one is consumers. Again, consumers are going to demand this. There's no doubt about it that if given the opportunity to purchase a product that performed the same and had the same price point, they're going to choose the green product. So there's a lot of innovation going on with companies in sustainability. You know, companies always try to innovate on making things a few milliseconds faster, making products produced a few pennies cheaper. There's a lot of innovation going on in sustainability right now. So that's the number one driver, is consumers are going to demand it. Number two is input and transportation costs are increasing. So as raw materials, as transportation costs increase, businesses realize that they can actually save money by implementing sustainability initiatives. And the answer to the first question was Walmart. Walmart last year saved $200 million based on their 2005 initiative to have a sustainability initiative. And you know, when that happened, people kind of laughed. Walmart, you know, big joke. They've had a real impact. Now, I'm not saying Walmart's a great corporate citizen because of it, but they are doing great things on that front. And when Walmart starts taking notice of this, and when they save $200 million is a ton of money, even to a company like Walmart. So number two is businesses realize they can save money. So businesses are going to drive us there. The third reason we need to embrace it is legislation. So I do believe that governments will put into place carbon taxes, other initiatives to force businesses to become sustainable. So you take those three factors alone, and you look at sustainability in 10 years from now, say. Again, 10 years I use theoretically. Might be more, might be less. Depends on the world economy, on a few other factors. But at some point in the future, sustainability is going to be a commodity. And what I mean by that is it's going to be hard to differentiate your business based on sustainability. Because if a business isn't sustainable, it's not going to be around. So there's a great opportunity right now to embrace that, get out in front of it, and differentiate yourself from the competitors. The second area I want to talk about is positioning. And what I mean by that is how you put sustainability in your business has a huge impact on the way consumers look at the business and respond to your marketing message. So while consumers want green products, they're not going to pay you any more for it. 90% of people will not pay more for a green product based solely on it being green, right? So I'm saying if you have a deficiency in price or performance, but you're a green product, 90% of people aren't going to choose your product. Now you might sit here and look at your peer group, you know, as a group of people in Vancouver, a lot of you guys in the millennial age, and say, I don't really agree with that. My peer group would, there's more than 90% who would not choose that. But I can tell you, I've lived in Texas, I've lived in Ohio, I've lived in other places. Vancouver is a very green city, and the majority of people in the world will not pay more for green products. The other side of that is there's still this perception out there with a lot of people that green products, if you come out and say, here's a sustainable product, the first thing people think is, it's going to cost more, and it's not going to be as effective. So you've got to keep that in mind. I'm going to use a couple of examples here to illustrate this point. There was a company in Vancouver that when I started my business here, in 2008, people said, you need to go talk to the founder of this green moving supply company. He's done tremendous things in sustainability. He's built an amazing brand. So one thing you'll find in the sustainability community is people are extremely helpful. They want you to succeed. So sat down with this founder and said, how did you build this company in 2 or 3 years to have this tremendous brand? You know, what's your marketing plan? What's your budget? How'd you do it? He said, you know, Doug, I don't have a marketing plan. I don't have a marketing budget. It's all word of mouth, and the press wants to write about me. People love this business because it's sustainable. Now, this is early 2008. And I thought, great, okay, press is something we've identified as something we want to do with our business. So who's your PR person? How much do you spend on PR? Answer again. It's really easy, Doug. You don't need to. It's a sustainable business. We're doing great. So I'm thinking to myself, great, you know, I picked the right sort of field to go into. Because we picked a product that we believe filled a need for consumers, and we made it sustainable. So sitting here in the chair talking to this founder, I'm thinking, wow, we're going to knock this out of the park. Well, it turns out it's not that easy. What happened with this business is later 2008, the economy slows down, and purchasing managers now don't want to pay 5, 10, 15% more for green products, because that was his only value. Here's his mission statement. Canada's single online resource for the best green office products. Right? Not the best products, but the best green office products. So that combined with, if you're standing up and just saying, we're a sustainable business and that's all you have to go on, you're going to get crushed by your competition. Staples, rebranded toy, launched a sustainable line. And people who really understand sustainability knew that this company had a more sustainable product, but the majority of people didn't care and went with the lower priced option. So 2010, this company was sold in a fire sale. So contrast that with another company that's extremely well known in the environmental world. And this company, for 30 years, has been leading edge in the environmental movement. Their founder, Yvon Chouinard, started something called 1% for the Planet, where businesses donate 1% of revenue, not profit, to environmental causes. And look at Patagonia's mission statement. They build the best product. They don't build the best green product. They build the best product. And if anybody knows Patagonia, you know it's not cheap. I mean, they command a huge price premium. But they can do that because they build the best product. People know that, and that's what they sell on. The fact is, Patagonia builds the best product, and they're sustainable, right? They don't lead with that. So, good example here. Second example is from my own company, and it is Dragon's Den. So we had a successful pitch on Dragon's Den this year. But when I first contacted CBC and said, here's my business, I want to be on this show, they said, great, you're a perfect fit for our sustainability episode. They called it the Green Invention. It's all sustainable businesses. Come on, don't even audition, come on, you know, come right in the door. And we turned it down. We said, no, we're going to go through the regular application because we didn't want to be seen as a sustainable business. We wanted to be seen as a business that filled a need in the society, that had a positive bottom line, and were sustainable. So we went through the audition, and when I think back to that time, when I think through the goals of Dragon's Den, when I was going on the show, my #1 goal was don't look like an idiot. 2 million people watch the show, so know your stuff and don't look like an idiot. But the second goal was exposure, and it was exposure for my brand. I wanted people to see the brand, and I wanted them to see it as a solution to a need in the market, not as a green business. And if you remember, if you saw our pitch, we barely talked about being a sustainable business on the show. And the third goal of the show, of us going on the show, was money. We were raising money, and obviously that's what the show is about. And then I thought about, before I went on the show, why don't I, what are the risks of this? Why don't I want to go on the show? And this was really due to my fragile ego. There were 3 reasons: Kevin O'Leary, and Kevin O'Leary. Again, if you've seen the show, you know he loves to beat up businesses. And if you've seen a green business go on the show and promote themselves as being only a green business, he just hammers them. I mean, he's ruthless. So regardless of that, whatever you think about Kevin O'Leary, the point I'm trying to make here with this positioning statement, where you need to position green as a secondary in your business, he summed it up perfectly for us during my pitch. So he asked me on the pitch, like, how much does it cost to use Frogbox? And just like Kevin O'Leary always does, he cuts me off before I can answer the question. And he says, I'll tell you why I'm asking. Because I love and want to save every beaver and whale that there is, but if it costs me 1 penny more, forget about it. So, as much as we might not like to think this, Kevin O'Leary really speaks for the masses. So you have to position your company as, you know, performing on either price or performance, and sustainability is another factor, but it's not your lead factor, or you won't do so well. And so now we know we have to embrace it, we know we have to position it properly, now we have to lead, right? And leaders make tough choices. And in sustainability, you're going to come across a lot of tough choices, because as you get into it, most people get really passionate about it. We're really passionate about sustainability. And as a leader, I didn't make really good choices in the beginning of our company on the sustainability front. You know, you look at this graph, and it's a graph of diminishing returns, right? So effort along the bottom, benefit along the top, or along the side. And there comes a point when you're trying to build sustainability into your business where it costs so much more to do that next step that it's not worth it. But when we started the business, we said, let's do everything we can do to be sustainable. And I'm gonna simplify this a lot to make a point. One of the areas we chose to do with Frogbox was we chose to host our website with solar energy. It reduced carbon emissions of the hosting by 40%. Seemed like a great idea. What happened there was we went with this company, and we had a lot of downtime on the website. Right? You can imagine a web-based business, right? We don't have storefronts. So people go to order boxes, and they can't. So this is a potentially bankrupting situation for us. Right? This is a serious situation. But hey, it's a green business. Let me give them a lot of leeway. Right? If this was another vendor of ours, we would have kicked them to the curb a long time ago. But we really wanted to make this work, so we tried, and it didn't really improve. And then what we did is we did a study to really map out our carbon footprint. You know, we talked about it, we thought we had a great carbon footprint. We went to a local business here called Climate Smart, great program, and they taught us how to measure our actual carbon footprint, how to reduce it further, and then how to offset if necessary. And what we learned was electricity in our business was less than 5% of our carbon emissions. So we are knocking ourselves out trying to host our website with solar hosting. And in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really do that much of an environmental benefit. Huge economic cost, low environmental benefit. We had to make the decision not to do it. And you'll find that a lot as you go through and you want to build your business. So again, I'm going to simplify things a lot here just to make a point. Right? So here we are, we've got a business in Vancouver, and we're doing well. We know we have a product that lowers the environmental impact of moving. And I can sit here and say, I'm going to figure out this solar hosting thing because it does. You know, 40% or 5%, I can save a little bit, and it's going to affect my bottom line. Or I can say, you know what, I'm going to make a tough decision and not do that, and I'm going to open up in 100 cities and spread my value of lowering the carbon footprint of people moving across 100 locations. So as a leader, you need to make the tough choice of, you know, what's your overall carbon footprint, right? And how does it compare with the economic cost of doing that? So tough decisions, right? But to sum it up, you know, you need to embrace sustainability because it's coming. It's coming more and more, and it's going to be a commodity soon. You need to position your business properly, and you cannot substitute sustainability for another factor that customers value. It's got to be an and. Right? We're a great company with the best product, and we're sustainable. You can't do it any other way. And then, you guys want to go out and lead? Go lead the best companies in the world, make the tough decisions, and look at the economic factors of being sustainable as well as the environmental factors. Thank you.